Planet Earth is an incredible place. But too often we fail to step back and marvel at the immense beauty and terrifying horrors that surround us each and every day. Today, we take a closer look at one of Earth's most underappreciated and goth forms of life, the Casper Boglim. Casper, Wyoming. Once a bustling oil town, this god-forsaken city has fallen to ruin over the past century as oil wells have dried up and affluent residents have sought opportunity elsewhere. With the human population declining, the town of Casper has slowly been reclaimed by the overwhelming natural forces that surround it. And for almost 3 decades, this sleepy municipality has been home to one of the last known Boglims outside of captivity. Through close collaboration with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, and the Casper Police Department, our team had the rare opportunity to film and photograph this wild Boglim up close, offering an incredible view into the way these fascinating creatures live their mysterious lives. The subject of our film crew's observation is this stunning, elderly male specimen who locals lovingly refer to as King Cobra JFS, or Cobes. Cobes leads a simple and solitary life in his Wyoming bog den, a double-wide trailer on the outskirts of Casper. As with others of his species, the bog den is the central location for this Boglim's activities. Here, Cobes can safely combo drinks, hack meals, and beg to his heart's content. Inside the bog den, all Boglim necessities are on hand and practically within arm's reach. A comfortable chair filled with friendly, biting bugs, a refrigerator packed with delightful, rotting food, and a semi-broken phone capable of summoning booze at the push of a button. Though youthful Boglims are known to occasionally leave their dens to socialize with nearby weirdos or seek out mates for sexual companionship, Cobes has long passed that time in his life. The aging Boglim, now content to stay in his domicile, insulated from the outside world and the trolls that inhabit it. Though unlikely to venture out in search of a sexual partner or cobra angel, this Boglim still practices his mating call occasionally, breaking out the BC Rich guitar and blasting some absolutely dank avant-grande tunes. Furthermore, Cobes continues to partake in online activity intended to attract a mate to his Boglim den, including making unsubstantiated claims concerning his sexual prowess, complaining endlessly about his dry spells, and engaging in compelling discussions of gender relations.
Even if the situation were gender reversed.
Despite the frequent so-called dry spells, this particular Boglim is known to remain quite wet with booze, both literally and figuratively. Confined to the solitude of the bog den, our Cobes engages in an endless loop of food hack devouring and drink combo chugging, spilling all the while.
Oh, Peter, that's inappropriate.
Long insulated by his magnificent Boglim liver from the consequences of his reckless consumption, this venerable Boglim appears to finally be hitting the proverbial wall, with his preferred salt and alcohol-based diet clearly beginning to take its toll in the form of increased bloating and further peanutting of the head or gourd. In spite of these consequences, the food hacks and drink combos continue. Food hacks, a critical part of both the Boglim diet and lifestyle, are bizarre, overwhelming, and often disgusting combinations of various ingredients or pre-made foods designed to maximize salt, fat, and carbohydrate delivery. Despite residing far from any natural bodies of water, this Boglim has developed an unexplainable fondness for fish.
Calamari?
Particularly in canned or dip form, often including it in his food hacks for absolutely no apparent reason. Additional staples of the Boglim diet include hamburgers, deli meats, pizzas with double the toppings, and country crock, original recipe. This rich and diverse diet keeps the Boglim healthy and happy. The sun rises in Casper, and a new day dawns as our Cobes rests comfortably in his cozy bog den. But today is not just any day for our Boglim, it's shower day. As with other Boglims, our Cobes prefers bathing with a pheromone soap designed to attract of age, alive, cisgendered, non-related, consenting, and preferably goth mates.
Speaking of ding-a-lings, if you want a girl to play with your ding-a-ling, you can increase your chances with tactical soap.
Boglims typically bathe once every 4 to 6 weeks, despite frequently being made unrepentantly filthy by the boggish activities of day-to-day life. Though this may seem infrequent, the dental hygiene habits of the standard Boglim differ even more from our own. Toothbrushing behavior in Boglims is exceedingly rare, and has only been caught on film twice in the history of Boglim studies. As you can see from the grimace of unimaginable pain on the Boglim's face, this is not a pleasant endeavor. Prominent experts in bogology suspect that the thin film coating the Boglim's teeth is highly toxic and capable of rapidly incapacitating small animals. Some theorized that this potent toxin may play a role in our Boglim's dental decline alongside traditional tooth decay factors. Primarily as a result of their severely limited visual acuity and blobfish-esque musculature, Boglims tend to be peaceful creatures, delighted to tuck away safely in their bog dens, away from trolls, the Boglim's only natural predator. Regardless of their typically relaxed nature, it is not recommended that you approach a Boglim if you happen upon one in the wild. When uncomfortably pressed and completely shit-faced, Boglims have been observed to lash out violently, striking their foes with immense force. Ultimately, our documentary crew found that Cobes seems to prefer acts of self-destruction to violent encounters with others, habitually channeling his frustrations with the world around him through his mighty fists and punishing the inanimate objects around him.
Hey, you.
In spite of the fact that Cobes represents a clear and present danger to himself, this danger pales in compare to the threats beyond. Boglims depend almost entirely on business transactions and government checks for subsistence, and continued inflation, stagnation in government assistance payment growth, and rising delivery fees all threaten the Boglim way of life, together limiting Cobes' ability to secure sufficiently dank DoorDash orders while still having enough assistance money to support the level of boozing required to sustain Boglim life. Circumstances have become so extreme in recent years that Cobes has been forced to resort to homebrewing mildly alcoholic slop in an attempt to remain adequately drunk while avoiding the dreaded negative bank account, the existence of which remains hotly debated to this day. The multitude of factors that have forced undue economic turmoil on the fragile Boglim population of the United States extend far beyond federal policy failures and severely limited government financial assistance, stretching even to our local institutions. One example that many expert bogologists point to is the US banking system and fees. Bank overdraft fees are viewed by virtually all bogologists as predatory and pointedly discriminatory, disproportionately impacting low-income Boglims who can barely afford DoorDash hacks and liquor. Even in the absence of these ridiculous penalties, economic pressures like this have, on more than one occasion, forced this once proud Boglim to livestream to a legion of trolls with his arms crossed and debase himself for super chats just so he can DoorDash an $80 pizza for survival. Outside of these enormous existential monetary challenges, non-financial pressures on the Boglim way of life come from all around in our increasingly fast-moving modern world. From rumor-mongering, phone-happy neighbors, and overly zealous members of local law enforcement, to horny grinder hookups looking for some action and local drug aficionados seeking imaginary scrap metal. Can the Boglim species survive such an egregious, full-frontal assault? Can this unique creature persevere? Will his big bicep papa move to Ireland? Truly, we leave here today with more questions than answers. So, what does this all mean? For me, David Bogenborough, the message is clear. We, as a nation, as a planet, and as a species, must do more to preserve these fascinating creatures and their remarkable way of life. Boglims need us now more than ever to restore and protect their natural habitat, to respect their traditions, and to maintain a respectful distance. Remember, a natural, food-encrusted, filthy fingernailed, and alcohol-filled Boglim is a happy Boglim. Thank you for watching. That is most definitely what the fuck is up, YouTube.